Alright, you guys, what's going on? Good morning. Today is Tuesday, and I mean, yeah, markets are still moving pretty volatile. Each candle is very big. So yeah, we're keeping the position size at 2 micros, and today what I'm looking at is this line here. This line right here, this level is an area where I'm looking for either a breakout or a reversal off of. Right now, we're getting some nice rejections off of that line. We're gonna wait and see how the next couple of 5-minute candles play out, and yeah, that's the area we're looking at right now, and I'm not gonna lie, actually, it's looking pretty clean. Probably gonna want to wait for this candle to close though, and see how the next candle reacts. Hopefully, this thing doesn't start just tanking off this line, and I miss out on a good short entry. But yeah, I think just waiting for this candle to close will be a pretty solid game plan. Seeing what the next candle wants to do, because we have been moving up somewhat aggressively so far. But yeah, this is the level that we're watching for today, anyways, and it's really just a pre-market game plan, gonna look for some reactions off this level and see what ends up playing out, so catch you guys in a little bit, we'll see what trade I take, and hopefully I can dub, you know what I mean. You guys already know, if you saw the previous video, the goals that I have for this week. Also, I do want to say one thing. I said one trade a day. The only exception is if I take a break-even trade. So if I take a break-even trade, see another clean setup, I'll give myself that trade to take, just because that doesn't put on any extra amount of risk for the day. But that's, of course, only if I see a clean setup after taking that break-even trade. So that's going to be the only exception. But if you guys didn't see yesterday's video, man, the goals for this week are going to be to stick to one trade a day, except for break-evens, like I just said. Make sure that oh, fuck, I already forgot the goals, bro. Okay, stick to the one trade a day. Make sure I size accordingly. And then the last one was to make sure... I forget how I worded it, bro. I worded it super, like, concisely. But basically, it was to make sure that each trade is, like, justified, you know what I mean? Because last week, I had problems, for whatever reason, with taking trades that weren't, like, good. Basically, just taking shitty trades. So yeah, all that being said, those are the 3 things we're going to focus on this week, and we're going to just start small just by focusing on those 3 things this week to try and build back that discipline, try to build some good psychology, all that stuff. And then, obviously those are some pretty solid rules that we should just have, you know what I mean, in general. But I've been struggling with that, so basically struggling with following my rules on certain aspects of trading. So we're going to really try and focus on that this week, And yeah, if I can stick to all those rules this week, I should be happy. So yeah, man, all that being said, though, I am about to just go ahead and start trading, bro. I'm locking on the charts, and I'll show you guys what ends up playing out today. All right, bro, I'm not going to lie. I didn't take the best trade. I took a loss. Bro, I'm going to take it, though. I'm going to take the loss, and I'm going to fucking walk away. I'm sticking to... I am determined to reach these 3 goals on the week, bro. I'm determined. This was the candle I was talking about early on in the video where we're looking at, bro. We tried to move down pretty well, but it flipped, and that showed me there's still a bunch of buyers down here for whatever reason. So, but after that, we did have some pretty aggressive sell pressure, and so I did go ahead and take shorts off of that rejection. I had my stop right above the level, and then, yeah, it just... got bought up last minute, of course, and there you go, stopped out. And dude, if this thing moves down off this level, I genuinely might crash out, so I really hope we just fucking move up, because that would be just ridiculous, bro. Imagine this thing moves down, bro. I've literally halved my position, doubled my stop, had my stop in a decent place, bro. Just imagine I get freaking... it moves down off of this, bro. I would actually crash out. So hopefully we move back up, bro, because I think the trade that I took was solid. I think the only problem was that we were just aggressively moving up. You know what I mean? I think that's really the only issue that I had. Oh my gosh, bro. You have no idea how much I want to re-enter in this shit right now, bro. Like, you've got to be kidding me, dude. Why? Why, bro? You have no idea how much I want to re-enter into this trade, bro. Oh my gosh, bro. And I'm like trying to refrain myself from re-entering, bro, because of like that, basically, like it's like, bro, we've got like these confluences, but it's just against the overall trend, you know what I mean? I really hope this thing, yeah, like I hope this thing just starts ripping, bro, because I'm about to just remove myself from the charts, and I'm gonna do the what's it called, the thing. But like, bro, I just wanted to re-enter in that trade so bad right there, and it looks like if I did re-enter, I'd most likely have gotten stopped out because this candle is just gonna fucking rip. Holy crap! So it's like, bro, you know what I mean? It's like, I don't know, bro. It's like you guys have no idea how bad I wanted to just re-enter in that trade, though. Like, after, hold on. I know I keep flipping this camera back and forth, but after this fucking candle here, bro, and then this candle started pushing up, and then we had, like, a big rejection, and it started to flip and shit, bro. I wanted to re-enter into that trade so bad, bro. And I didn't, so that's good. I guess that's good, bro. Obviously, it looks like if I had re-entered, I would have just gone stopped out, or getting pretty close to the stop loss, bro. So it would not have been worth it at all, bro. It's like against the overall trend and shit, you know, of the day, bro. And it's just like, bro. But you guys have no idea how bad I wanted to re-enter, man. I'm glad I didn't, you know. I'm glad I didn't. So, alright, you guys. So I'm gonna throw y'all on the screen record. You guys see, first of all, this is the trade I took, you know. And like I said, man, I don't think I was forcing a trade, but I think I should have waited for better confluences. But also, at the same time, even if I did wait for better confluences, I probably still would have gone stopped out. So I'm going to just start off by showing you guys the executions. And yeah, you guys can see I kind of just got chopped out of my position. I mean, these 3 wicks are just crazy. I mean, you know what I mean? They're just wild. So on my live account, we're down 147.50. Not bad for a loss. Oh wait, no, 151 after fees and commissions, still not bad for a loss. We're in this trade for 6 minutes, 44 seconds. Bro, we're actually gonna move down. It doesn't matter, bro. We're just chopping at this point, so I'm not into it, man. I'm just not into it, you know. I kind of entered myself into some chops, so on my 2 fund accounts that I copy traded, I lost 137.50 per account before fees, and after fees, it's 139.58. So that's that. I'm going to go ahead and actually, while we're here, I'm going to go ahead and set my daily loss limit back because I haven't had that for a while. You know, if we're really serious about this week sticking to one trade, then we're going to go ahead and put that 165 daily loss limit back on. Boom, boom. And then let's move on to the live account. Someone actually in the comments, go ahead and answer me this if you know. Is there a way on Tradevate? I know on Top Step, I'm pretty sure you're able to set a daily loss limit and then have it lock your account after it's been hit. Is there a way to do that on Tradevate? Because I would like to know. If so, I'm definitely interested. Oh my gosh, bro. I'm gonna crash. I'm gonna crash out, bro. Not really, but that's It's looking like the trade might have played out, bro. But yeah, all this chop is pretty bad, and I definitely did get chopped out, so it's whatever, bro. It's whatever. I probably could have seen this coming, bro, because we've literally done nothing but push, and then I probably should have really waited to see how we act, like giving Price a lot more time at this level to see what it wanted to do. Yeah, screw it. It's whatever, man. It's whatever. Like I said, man, I think the idea of the trade in it of itself wasn't bad, but the actual execution was a little bit rushed. And yeah, man, I mean, I already expected us to be pretty bearish today. I'm not even gonna lie, just because of literally purely based off fundamentals. I mean, there's an insane amount of uncertainty in the markets. China's retaliating. They're saying they're not backing down from the tariffs. We're about to spam tariffs on the entire world except for Russia and North Korea tomorrow. So yeah, there's a lot of shit to be bearish about. I'm not even gonna lie. But you know, we had this pretty big rally. You know, I can understand it. We're down at we're so low. I mean, we've literally, I looked at SPY, bro, and we've almost wiped out all of 2024's gains, like at the lowest point of the market this year. I'm pretty sure QQQ is also like pretty much in the same boat, if not worse off, because that shit is more volatile than SPY. But yeah, so there's a lot of things to be bearish about, fundamentals, in terms of fundamentals, you know what I mean? But you know, today at open, man, we did have this pretty big push. I'm not even gonna lie, like, what is this? The new norm, bro, is like fucking 229 points moved to the upside. That's actually not as bad as I thought it was, to be honest. I thought it was a little bit bigger. But yeah, you know, I saw us coming to this level, area of supply, and this candle here, this is why I'm a little bit upset about myself. Like, this candle here, we had a nice rejection. We see this wick, but at the last minute, I mean, we just bought right back up into this zone. You know what I mean? Had a very clean rejection off the zone. Last minute, just bought right back into it, you know? Probably look in the 1 minute and like see what I'm talking about, you know, like we had this really bit of a chop, you know, nice little rejection, pretty bearish candle here. I mean, this is
solid rejection off this level, but then last minute we just bought right back into it, you know what I mean? And then, yeah, you know, we had another bearish reaction off this level, and we just kind of chopped around from there. And yeah, I figured, honestly, like, bro, we pushed into this level again. We had a rejection. I figured that if we were going to be bullish, we would probably just continue up, but instead we had another strong bearish rejection. And so I did go ahead and take shorts. You know, we're up a little bit, not too much, but then we just wicked back up last minute. You know, whole 5 minutes of this candle, we were trying to push down, and it just didn't work. You know, last minute we pushed back up, and then this candle opened, and again, man, we were doing good. We were trying to reject, trying to move down, but then it just didn't work out. Hit the stop loss, and then we had these other wicks that just completely, just like, yeah, that was crazy. So yeah, like I said, man, the idea behind it was not bad. I think the execution was, I mean, that's all I can really say. You know, I think it's like, bro, after this rejection followed by this bearish candle, I think that would have been a better entry. Whether or not that would still get stopped out, I don't know. So yeah, I mean, this is a 30-minute time frame. It looks like we're actually still doing the same shit. It's like, bro, we're just chopped at this point, bro. You know what I mean? We're just chopping. I mean, this one, maybe this one will do it. You know what I mean? It's just like, fuck, bro. I don't know, man. I think, like I said, man, I think the idea of the trade itself was not bad. I think it'll most likely play out. But honestly, I don't know because of this chop, bro. Like, the fact, like, all these wicks does show me that there's still a bunch of buyers in this area. You know what I mean? I didn't expect this to be an area of demand. I didn't have it marked out. I didn't find any 4 or 1 hour area demands right here, but we can tell just based off price action, you know, that we're just kind of, there are a lot of buyers in this area. So I feel like until we really break below this, all these wicks, then we can't have a perfect confirmation. But if we wait until we break below all these wicks, bro, then our stop loss is just like somewhere over here. It's like, it's a cooked. Unless we just take it with 1 micro and like rely on the freaking markets to just like move down like all the way down here or some shit, which it probably would happen, I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. All I can say is I pretty much got in this trade off of the idea. I didn't wait for the proper confluences. Even if I did wait for the proper confluences, I might have got stopped out. Like, bro, imagine if I just like, you know, like I waited, you know, okay, we came up here, rejected, boom, whatever, rejection, this is a nice wick, come up, flip, push down, maybe I take a re-entry right at the same spot, bro. I just get stopped out immediately. It's like, and then like we have some bullshit like this. So I think that in terms of today, man, I think that I did rush it a little bit, but I think at the same time, I think it would be a little bit tricky for me to catch a clean trade. Because like I was saying, man, you know, we can look for these rejections off of here, or we can wait for us to break below here and have a worse stop loss. That, you know, I mean, this stop loss already got stopped out, bro. Imagine we wait until we break below here and get some sort of retracement, bro. We just get absolutely smoked. So yeah, I think that today, probably give myself like a C or a C plus, you know, because I'm not gonna lie though, if this trade did play out, I would be saying it's a good trade. So like, I'm not saying that's a bad setup. I think I could just wait for better confluences. You know what I mean? If I had targeted all the way down here, bro, it'd be like a 4-1. So yeah. Yeah, man, I think, like I said, man, it just didn't work out for me today. I think the idea was pretty solid. I think that, like I said, man, I wasn't really looking at the bigger picture, though, because, like, we did have this very big rally, so I could expect buyers to try and pick price up, you know what I mean? I think I was a little bit too, like, in tune with my bias. Like, I wasn't, like, really, like, or married to my bias, that's the word. What am I talking about? In tune with my bias, that makes no sense. But like, yeah, man, I think I was a little bit married to my bias, a little bit too much. You know, I probably should have waited for some better confirmation. Yeah, dude, like that's really all I gotta say. You know, quick recap of the recap. You know, we tried to move up. I saw us kind of start to reject a little bit as area supply. Some things I did wrong, man. Like for example, this candle, we did create this wick, and we tried. It looked like we were gonna move down at first, but then at the last minute, we had a influx of buyers push this candle back into its zone, followed by another rejection. So I just went and took that. You know, I think that was not good confluence at all. I think that might have actually more have been like confluence for me to wait and see what happens. You know, I think so. I think I was a little bit too impatient with this trade. You know, I wouldn't say I forced the trade. I don't know, man. It's like I wouldn't say I forced the trade because I think that the idea was like really solid. I think that I should have waited for better confluences. I did stick to one trade and I did size accordingly. So I didn't break any of the goals today, so that's good. I mean, I got close, bro. There was multiple times I was trying to come back in and take that short re-enter, you know, which honestly might not even be a bad idea. But we're not. I'm not even focused on green or red days. Or I'm trying not to be even focused on green or red days. This week I'm trying to just focus more on simply sticking to my rules so I can prove to myself I have that discipline. You know what I mean? Yeah. If we like, bro, it's just right there, bro. It's just like everything about it says too short, bro. And I took the short, and I got stopped out. I got chopped out. You know what I mean? But who knows, man? Yeah. Fuck, bro. I'm not really happy that this thing is moving down, bro. Especially after this candle, like, this is very bearish. Especially if we flip and push, bro. I feel like this thing would just tank, bro. There it is. Yeah. So fuck, bro. What a way, man. What a way to take this trade and just get stopped out, and then I don't know, bro. I don't know. It sucks, man. It is always gonna suck for this shit to happen, bro. Getting stopped out and then price continues to move in your direction. That's always gonna suck. There's no happy feeling with that. But yeah, like I said, man, there's some things I should have done better today, man. I knew we had this huge rally at open. I should have seen it coming, man. I should have seen this sort of chop coming, and I should have waited, bro. I should have waited through the chop. I should have waited and been like, okay, we're kind of chopping, at this area supply. I expect us to catch some shorts, you know what I mean? Maybe the best case scenario, like the best idea would be to wait for a break below these lows and then wait for a retest to see how that reacts. But at the same time, if we did that, a stop loss would just be completely cooked. Like, let's say we entered like right there, you know what I mean? It's just like, bro, stop loss is literally below the level. Even if I go in with 1 micro, dude, I would literally like have to add my stop loss by 1 more or multiple, and it just wouldn't work. I don't think with my risk management, I don't think it would work. And yeah, but anyways, like I was saying, man, I completely ignored this pretty aggressive rally at the open, you know what I mean? Or not, well, yeah, during the first 30 minutes, I kind of ignored this aggressive rally, and I ignored all the buyers. Like, there were a bunch of wicks here that I could have anticipated being a problem. I should have definitely waited longer. But if I did, like I said, man, I would probably have just taken this here, and I would have gone stopped out still, you know what I mean? By this wick. So it's like, either way, if I had waited for that, I would still be happy with the trade, Let's see one more time where we are in real time. Gosh, bro. Okay. So yeah. I don't know, man. It's always gonna be frustrating. Like, that's exactly what I thought was gonna happen. But hey, we just had to have these 3 big wicks that completely cooked my ass, bro. And there it is, bro. So yeah, man. It is what it is, man. Gosh, dude. I swear, bro. I literally over here trying to cut my position size in half, dome my stop loss, and all that shit, and I still get fucking stopped out, bro. And I still watch my trade run. I mean, dude, literally, bro, this would have probably been TP. Like, if these wicks just didn't exist, bro, and we just kind of, like, I don't know, closed below this level every time, and then we had this push down, bro, this would have been TP right here. That would have been like a 2-to-1. I'm pretty sure. But anyways, man, fuck it, bro. It happened. Unfortunately, did not happen in my favor. Had to have these bullshit wicks and stop me out again. So, yeah. Oh, man, I'm just really questioning if, like, I should literally just take, like, the month off and just let the markets figure its shit out with this, like, volatility, bro, or if I should just, like, keep trying to trade, because I feel like if I can trade during these conditions, let me just go and cut the screen recording. As I was saying, bro, I feel like if I can trade during these conditions, bro, then I can trade in any fucking conditions, bro. I mean, literally, bro. The adaptability that I have to kind of go from what I'm used to this shit is, like, insane, bro. I'm not even gonna lie. So I don't really want to, like, just not trade, bro, because, like, I think, like, if I do just downsize, and if I do just, like, base my stop loss, like, so if I downsize, it allows me to double my stops, double my TPs, you know what I mean? Yesterday worked out. Today we still got stopped out, which is actually wild. But it really just is what it is at this point, bro. Yeah, man, took a loss today. Looks like the trade is gonna play out if it didn't already play out. Gosh, bro, I'm looking at the charts on my phone, man. SPY is just dumping back below VWAP. We would have definitely hit TP, assuming that I had entered at my original entry, man. And I think today, like, these are days where it's like taking that second trade is good, you know what I mean? But unfortunately for me, I'm focused on building discipline this week. So yeah, this thing is just tanking, bro. That's exactly what I thought was gonna happen, bro. I just didn't expect these 3 freaking wicks that just took me right to my stop, man. That's something else, bro. So yeah, man. I literally cut my position size in half, doubled my stop loss, and still got stopped out. So that's something else, bro. But you know what I mean? It's a loss, bro. Losses happen, and I decided not to take the second trade because I want to really focus on just what's it called? Accomplishing these 3 goals that I have this week. That's like all I'm focused on, you know. But that's all I want to be focused on, you know. Obviously, I still get fucking upset when bullshit like this happens. I mean, like, am I ever not gonna be upset about literally getting stopped out by like a couple points, and then just markets tanking when I'm in a short? You know what I mean? Am I ever not gonna be upset about that? Probably not. You know, I'm not gonna lie. That is always gonna make me feel some type of way. It's just how I kind of react and control, or how I control that reaction. You know what I mean? But yeah, you know, fuck it, bro. L day, you know what I mean? Like I said, I think that waiting for more confirmation would have probably been better. I had the right idea, obviously. Even if I did wait for that more confirmation, I probably would have gotten stopped out still, but it would have been at least a little bit of a better trade. You know what I mean? And like I did say though, if that trade did end up playing out without stopping me out, bro, I would have called it probably would have called it a pretty good trade. I would have still said like, yeah, man, I should wait for more confirmation, but I wouldn't be so hung up about it. You know what I mean? So I think this trade wasn't horrible. Obviously, it's playing out right now. I just got fucking stopped out, which is wild. But you know, that's what I can expect when the markets are moving this much. So yeah, man, like I said, still a frustrating experience. Markets are actually tanking right now. That's exactly what I thought was gonna happen. Great. Jesus Christ, bro. Whatever, man. I'm gonna just put the phone down, get off the charts, and I'll just deal with it, bro. You know what I mean? I was able to keep my loss small today compared to my wins from yesterday. My loss is basically nothing, so that's cool. Hopefully, I can continue trading like this for the rest of the week. And yeah, man. You know, I keep saying, man, it sucks that this happened today, but you know what I mean? It's going to happen plenty more times, I can tell you that. So I'm just going to have to get used to it, bro. You know what I mean? Get used to it. If there's something I could have changed today, like I said, wait for more confirmation. I think that just the extra volatility, even though I fucking doubled my stop size today, still was not enough, bro. Like, holy crap. Still was not enough for me to catch a winning trade. Still got stopped out. It's closer, bro. It's closer. Got stopped out by only a few points this time, but nonetheless, you know, nevertheless, whatever the word is, still stopped out, took a loss, but I was able to control that loss, make it small, and still up on the week on all my accounts. So, great job. I do hope you guys enjoyed this video, though. Oh, yeah, the big important thing, though, is I stuck to all 3 of the goals that I have. So, I haven't broken any of those goals or haven't broken any of those rules yet. So, yeah, man, all that being said, though, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, man. Hopefully you guys caught a dub or a loss, or just, hopefully you guys just traded well, man. Tomorrow's going to be a crazy day. We're going to have to really be patient and just kind of wait and see what the markets decide to do. I'm not even sure if I really want to trade tomorrow, so I'm going to just come in and see if the markets look like that we're going to be able to take a trade or not, and yeah. Alright, bro, I know I already ended the video, but I figured we will do a little bit more reflection, bro, because as the market is literally crashing, bro, I'm over here like, dog, I'm just frustrated, bro. Oh my gosh, bro. I'm over here frustrated as fuck, bro, as I'm watching the market literally crash, bro. I literally, like, bro, if my stop loss was, like, maybe, like, I don't know, fucking 7 points, 8 points, 9 points, 10, however many points more, because I know these freaking volatile-ass candles, bro. I would literally be sitting in here on a fat W, bro. And I would have basically top ticked it, bro. But instead, you know, I got stopped out. And I'm trying real hard to be disciplined and, like, build back all this psychology and whatnot. Be able to take red days without, like, trying to take another trade right after, you know what I mean? Obviously, in this case, if I'd taken another trade, but I'd literally be cooking and probably bank like crazy today. But, you know, I didn't, bro. I'm more focused on trying to reach these goals that I have for this week, you know. So that leads me to the reflection point, which is one trade is not going to define you, bro. You know what I mean? And everyone says that, but I think that really applies to today's scenario, bro. Where, oh my gosh, dude. I think that really applies to today's situation very well. And I'm going to just have to get used to it, bro. One loss in the market does not define your whole career. This is like a small little, like, what's it called, disturbance in the overall trend of my career
as a fucking trader, bro. Career with air quotes, because I haven't actually made money from it yet. Made a little bit of money, but I've also lost a lot of money. So it's like, bro, we're pretty much down in the drain, bro. In terms of all in all, P&L. But it doesn't even matter right now, bro. The P&L shit doesn't even matter, bro. We're really only focused on trying to get a payout from these two fund accounts right now. But more importantly, we're focused on following the goal, or sticking to the rules and following, completing our goals for the week. You know what I mean? So that's the really big theme for the week, is just to complete our goals. But yeah, man. All that being said, though, it does fucking hurt, bro. It hurts, bro. Like literally, basically could have top ticked it. The sell off, the huge market dump, bro. And I didn't, bro, because I got stopped out by a couple of points. You know what I mean? And like I said, man, one trade just doesn't define you, bro. Markets are going to continue to tank without me, and there's just nothing I can do about that, bro. You know what I mean? There's just nothing I can do about that right now. It is very, very painful to watch. I'm not going to lie. It is. But, you know what I mean? It just doesn't matter that much, bro. There's going to be plenty of other trades, bro, that I can take, just because I was right about this trade, but I got stopped out. It sucks, bro, but this is one trade in, like, the next, like, million trades that I'm going to take in my lifetime, bro. It does not matter that much, you know what I mean? And I know that this is a common thing that is said by a lot of people, but like I said, man, I think it just really applies in this situation today, bro. So, yeah, we're I'm upset. I'm a little bit upset about it. I'm not going to lie. It does suck. It really sucks, obviously, being right about a trade, but losing money on it. Like, how is that not going to suck? You know what I mean? But, that's what happened today, bro. And it is just one trade in the grand scheme of my whole trading career, bro. However many years I'm going to be at this, bro. It's just one trade. You know what I mean? It does not define really much of anything. Even if I had won today and made a huge amount of money, that wouldn't have even mattered that much. I mean, I would have felt better about it, yes, but I could very easily let that go to my head, come to the markets tomorrow and lose it all. You never know, bro. So that one win doesn't really matter as much, nor does that one loss. Now, if we had crashed out and taken a bunch of losses and blown the account, it probably would have mattered more, a little bit more, But we didn't do that, We stuck to the one trade. We had a very small, regular size red day, Yesterday, I'm pretty sure we did 1350 on the day. Today, we did minus 450, all in all. So it's like, bro, that's not, you know what I mean? We're still up a good amount on the week, up like $900, all in all, And so, yeah, man, I just kind of wanted to come on here, just a little reflection, bro. Because it's like, it just sucks. It really does suck. And I know I keep saying that. And I know it's probably annoying to hear me say that. But that's literally just how I'm feeling right now, I'm still not at that point where I don't feel anything when I take a trade. And I don't think anyone ever is really at that point. You know what I mean? You have to be crazy. Maybe not crazy, but I don't know. I just don't believe people when they say that they genuinely do not care about the outcome of a trade, bro. There's always going to be some part of you that kind of cares about that trade, because it's like, bro, you think one thing, you're proven wrong, you get stopped out, and you lose a bunch of money on top of that. It's like, bro, you're telling me that doesn't affect you at all. I think it's just more about the way that you deal with the emotions that come with that, And I'm trying to deal with it in a good way. I think this is very good practice by just simply not taking a second trade, just simply getting out of the markets, going on about my day. Because, I mean, dude, I got stopped out, and then the markets actually tanked like crazy. A vertical drop. Exactly what I expected today to do, bro. I had this perfect idea of what I thought was going to happen today, that we're going to move down because the economy is literally going to shit. And we did move down. We just moved up a little bit more than I thought at first, you know what I mean? Markets are continuing to crash out, still moving down even lower, you know what I mean? And I missed out on all of that, bro. And not only did I miss out on that, but I actually lost money trying to trade that, I was trying to catch that move. So yeah, like I said, man, it's horrible. A horrible feeling, but it's one trade. It does not define me at all. Yeah, bro. I mean, I don't really know what else to say, I kind of wanted to just come in here and say that, one trade does not define you, one loss, one missed opportunity, one loss, whatever it is. It's like we got plenty of time to try and make this thing work, you know what I mean? And today, it was unfortunate what happened. It really was. It just didn't work out today, you know what I mean? Work out as I thought it would. I mean, it did work out as I thought it would, but in terms of me getting stopped out, I didn't want that to happen. So, Yeah, man, tough day, but this is actually what does build character, bro. This is me trying to take my bad habits and convert them into good habits. The bad habit being, if I get stopped out of a trade, I immediately think, okay, I got to make this money back. I got to come take another trade, and maybe won't always take the best trade. In today's case, if I had taken another trade, there is a possibility I would have still gotten stopped out. There's also a possibility I would have won. So I don't really know. It doesn't even matter really thinking about it though. Like it doesn't really matter. But like I said, man, taking that bad habit of what I just said to transform into a good habit where I take a trade, I let it play out, and I try my best to be impartial to the outcome. And then if we get stopped out, we just move on about our day. And we're just gonna do that until it gets to the point where I just don't care enough to if I get stopped out, I just don't want to care enough, to where because when I take a loss, it doesn't I'm past that point where if I take a loss, I have a red day, it just affects me for the rest of the day. When you kind of first start off, you're trading, you're getting up early as shit, fucking 6 in the morning, coming onto the charts, trying to take a trade, boom, 6 minutes, you just lost a bunch of money, that shit, when you start off, that shit affects you a lot, bro. It's like, god damn, bro, how did I get to this point, bro? Why am I down this much money? All that bullshit, But, I'm obviously past that point to where it just affects me for the rest of the day. But it does affect me a little bit, And I'm trying to get to the point where I can just kind of figure that shit out to where I take a loss and I'm just like, okay, I took a loss, bro. I followed my strategy, or I have the checklist. Did I stick to? Did I follow my rules? Did I check off every box? Okay, yes I did. I'm good. Good day, good trade. Even if I took a loss, and then I just continue moving on because I know that if I keep trading like this, then I will end up making money in the long run, you know what I mean? So I'm trying to get to that point where I can just look at the bigger picture, in the future, and not be so dialed in on the day-to-day process, you know what I mean? Which, like I said, man, today, obviously, I'm, feeling upset about it, I took a trade, market's dumped, I was in shorts, but I got stopped out first, who's not going to be upset, And ideally, maybe I'll still be upset about it, but ideally in the future, I'll just be like, okay, it happened, took a stop loss, whatever, continue moving on about the day, you know what I mean? So yeah, man, I'm going to just shut up right here, though, because I think I said pretty much everything I need to say, Like I said, man, it's a rough day, but I think this was a good... I genuinely think that today was a good learning experience. Sometimes, you just, get stopped out, and you're like, yeah, bro, I don't want to... I'm tired of fucking learning lessons, bro. What is this? I just did the same shit over and over again. I fucking overtraded, and I took a bad step. It's what am I supposed to learn from this? But, today, I feel like this is actually a good learning experience, Because, yeah, like I was saying, man, confluences probably should have been better, but that's really the only bad thing that I can say about this trade, is the confluences. I took a solid setup in my opinion. It was okay. Like I said, man, maybe a C plus, just because of the lack of confluences. There wasn't as many confluences. I should have waited for some better confluences. But, anyways, what the fuck was I saying, dude? I was like, yeah, this is a good learning experience, bro. This is actually something I can take and, learn from, you know what I mean? Just because, it's just purely, the psychology aspect, bro. It's I really want to focus on just sticking to one trade and building discipline, you know what I mean? Something happened today that I could have very, very easily just crashed out over, very easily just crashed out over this shit. And maybe even made money on the day, if I had taken a second trade, or maybe lost more money. It just depends on, it literally just depends on which candle I entered in on, you know what I mean? But that doesn't matter. Like I was saying, though, very easily could have crashed out over this shit today. And I think that I kind of did. I think this reflection was important because it kind of takes something that normally would end the day in me crashing out, maybe making money, maybe losing even more money. But I took that and I kind of actually tried to learn from it, because this is, like I said, this is an actual experience that I can learn from, So I think that's probably a pretty solid thing. Pretty much the best thing I can do today. This is the best outcome that I can have from today, aside from winning the trade. Took a trade, took a loss, kind of analyzed it, stepped back, saw what I did right, saw what I did wrong, and then try to learn from it. So that's the whole idea of these videos and shit, bro. Is so I can learn from them. You know what I mean? So yeah, that was a lot of talking. It still sucks to lose, but we did, and I think we did the best. We had the best outcome today, aside from winning a trade. So. All that being said, bro, I hope you guys did enjoy. Hopefully you guys did good trading today. And yeah, man, I'll catch you on the next one. Peace out.